Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to Comic Book Team Up. This is where RJ from the Fourth Age and me from John's Long Box, we team up every week, talk about comics with a third host. This week's guest host is Vinny Tartamella. Did I pronounce your name right?
Yeah, you did.
I'm notorious for mispronouncing people's names.
Oh, it's all good.
So I never met you before, but when I saw your artwork, this just looks phenomenal. So
Thanks,
before I talk for an hour and a half, which I've been known to do, just ask RJ. Tell me about your comic. Tell me about this. This looks good.
This was an art book. I've had multiple comic book campaigns. I actually have 4 active campaigns right now on Indiegogo.
Wow.
And I have this one that's on Kickstarter. So this is the art of Vinny Tartamella, and basically this whole project, it's like a collection and a remastering of the volumes 1 and 2 art books that I've already done, and those were 52 pages each. But I did an additional 30 pages in this book, so it's a whopping 140 pages of artwork. So. Yeah,
so is this an art book or is this a comic?
Well, it's an art book that's in comic book format. It's actually like perfect bound, all that great stuff.
Is it okay if I play the trailer? Meaning, is there going to be copyrighted music or new?
Oh no, it's copyright free music. Friend of mine put it together.
So I'm gonna play this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Vinny Tartamella. I'm the owner of Mella Art World. I'm also a former lead designer of McFarlane Toys, and I've been in the comic book industry and entertainment industry for about 20 to 25 years, designing figures, statues, doing storyboard artwork, and concept artwork. Done stuff, again, for Image Comics, Devil's Due, Blue Water Comics, a whole bunch of different indie comic books. But I also have my own projects that I've done, and they consist of pirate book Shadow of the Kraken. I have a post-apocalyptic future story called City of Venus, and a beautiful hardcover book called Through the Woods. It's 100 pages, and again, fulfilled during the height of COVID and lockdowns. I am a very trusted creator. I deliver my projects, and everyone's been asking me if I'm going to be doing a Kickstarter. So this is my first Kickstarter. This project, The Art of Vinny, a work of art, is volumes 1 and 2 of my original art books, remastered, just absolutely gorgeous in the format that I'm presenting it in. 140 pages, an additional 30 pages of unpublished work is in this book. So I hope you guys will consider backing and supporting this project. If it does well, I'll release more campaigns over on Kickstarter. I have a number of new projects and things in the works. I hope you guys will consider supporting. Remember, you can find more of my work over on mellaartworld.com and vinnyart.com. Thank you again.
Wow, man, you could draw the hell out of a female figure, that's for sure.
Thanks, man. Well, that's why I put this together for Kickstarter, because this is the first time I'm on that platform, and I know like they like their women over on that on Kickstarter. So
yeah, I'm on Kickstarter now, and I have like a more wholesome superhero comic book. It's not setting Kickstarter on fire, but
yeah,
I think next time I'll have to have like a more salacious for Kickstarter. But I'm doing good on Fund My Comic, which is only 3 more days before.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, because I don't do anything gratuitous.
No.
It's more cheesecake. That's why maybe I'm having a struggle on there too because of that.
No, I mean, look at this. That's classy. That's RJ. You're always talking about make comic book women beautiful again. What do you think of this?
No, this is beautiful, and the fact that you have Conan in there just is icing on the cake.
There you go.
That's Barbarian Man.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. That's legally distinct Conan, right? Well, is he public domain?
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not. Okay.
Well, he's just a barbarian guy. That's all.
That's Barbarian guy. That's your Dungeons and Dragons character. There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. The
These
full
are
image is pretty awesome on that one though, because I have like the giant snake that has like its head cut off and a bunch of bodies kind of next to him as well. It's a more panoramic shot.
Oh, okay. So we're just looking at a close up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that does. RJ, would you say that harkens to a John Buscema doing that face?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
John Buscema faces are distinct to say the
Yeah.
least.
Right.
Yeah, Buscema and Frank Frazetta, those are my two favorites. So,
Oh, there you go.
yeah, that's why I had to do a great homage.
I love Peter Pan, and Peter Pan is not public domain. They actually changed the laws for Peter Pan, if I remember correctly.
I thought it was public domain.
No, I think it is, John. I think it is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I know in England they keep.
There's a school, yeah. There's like an orphanage or something
Right.
along those lines where they sort of like. I guess the rights were passed over to them, but it is more of a public domain thing. But if there is something like a project or a movie or something, they like to be told about it. It's something along those lines. It's kind of like a little more. They're a little more free about things.
Right, because the money's going to a charity, and it's one of the things that floats this orphanage. You know,
Something along those lines. I don't know the full details, but yeah.
but I love. I was going to ask, have you read? You know, it's such a wonderful book. I really really enjoy it.
Yeah.
This is great. Vampire chicks are always sexy. Oh wow!
Yeah.
Didn't you get the message? Laura Croft is not supposed to be good looking anymore.
I don't know who Laura Croft is. This
Oh.
is Explorer Girl in Cave.
This is Lauren Kraft. She helps find cheese. That's right. I forgot. Yeah.
He's the man after my own heart. Yep. Yep.
That is awesome.
Yeah, Mr. Fire Skull.
Yeah. Yep. Mr. Fire Skull. Yep. I like it.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Are we allowed to say this? That's got to be public domain.
Yeah, that's Gilman. Yeah, that's a creature from a lagoon.
Oh, okay, you're painting Gilman. That gives you.
Mhm.
Is it a deep one from Lovecraft?
Um,
Down the hill. The Gilman is a deep one from H.P. Lovecraft.
well, actually, you know what? I technically I got to meet the guy who did all the swimming scenes in the actual
cool.
movie in the Creature of the Black Lagoon, and yeah, I actually had this piece signed by him, which was really
That
cool.
is awesome.
Yeah, the original, because I had done it in pencil and then I inked it in. And when I met him at this horror show, yeah, I had him sign it for me too, which is really cool.
That is cool. You do the coloring too?
Oh yeah, I do everything.
That is cool.
Yep.
Legally distinct. This is Malice and Wonderland.
Well, that's public domain.
I know. I'm being
Yeah,
silly at this
Yeah, that
point.
one's good.
I'm also I love Peter Pan. I love Alice in Wonderland. When people talk about children's literature, they forget how timeless children's literature really is and how important it is. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you're doing artwork of this. And
Thanks,
these
man.
this looks like you. I joke around with everybody, but this looks like your Dungeons and Dragons characters. Are you?
Yeah, that's an original character. That's the cover of my Volume 3 art book, which I tacked on a couple of my other projects onto this campaign that are actually active on Indiegogo as well. But I did it here just in case for like the people who've never seen me before, if they're stumbling upon me on Kickstarter for the first time, because I know that happened a lot too, where people would only buy from one specific platform.
Right.
So I wanted to give
some platforms, which I don't understand, but whatever. People.
Yeah, it's all strange how these people operate and
Yeah.
how they make their rules and whatnot. Dude, awesome, man. Great seeing you. Genuine Comics, awesome dude right there.
Yeah, Dave Brink has some great comics. I love Dave Brink's
Yep.
comics. Yeah, I really what I like, like you definitely have the anatomy. Like you definitely have the chops to do comics. I mean, this is just awesome. And you said you've been doing various things in tangentially related to comics for years.
Yeah, I started as a lead designer for McFarlane Toys.
Oh
So,
wow!
Yeah. I was back when he still had his studio in Jersey. That's like we did all the work, all the designs, the sculpting, you name it, was all done over there. So it was interesting. It was very interesting, but I got a whole bunch of stuff out. Yeah, this is one of my comics. City Venus, Dead City. Yeah.
So are you writing it, drawing it, inking it, coloring it, everything?
Everything. Absolutely
awesome.
everything. Yeah.
Does it have any connection to what's his name that does yeah, good heavens. Carter of Venus?
No. no. This is
You're not inspired by? No, I just thought it might be inspired by.
No, I mean, yeah, his work is great. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff. The Tarzan stuff, any of the kind of like pulp kind of books, and I'm kind of like an old soul when it comes to that type of stuff. Like Buscema is my favorite artist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I got a lot of people that I kind of inspire me over the years. But it's funny that a lot of people that I did like their work, their big influences were the ones that I originally liked anyway. So it kind of.
I do that with bands. Like, I really like this band, and then I hear this band was really into like the Velvet Underground. I'm like, oh
yeah.
Of course, I love the Velvet Underground.
That's cool stuff. Yeah, because I like Greg Capullo. His stuff was always amazing, and I found out John Buscema was one of his favorites as well. And I got to actually become kind of friendly with Capullo as well a few years back when I was doing like the convention scene in a big way, and it was really great. It was fun. Like one of the first things I got to say to him was because we were basically neighboring at a show together. And he was put up his banner. I said, "Oh, so you're the replacement after I left Todd?" And he turned around like huh, what? Because he had done a line. He did like I think 2 or 3 lines of figures as well. He designed for Todd before he came back to comics full time. So like it was pretty funny. But I knew him over the years though, here and there. And we had a mutual friend that he would see my artwork a lot. So it was cool when we finally did connect. But
this looks awesome.
Oh, thank you, man.
While you were talking, I just couldn't help it. I was just peeking at this interior artwork. The only thing that keeps me from writing, drawing, and doing it on my own is I'm a terrible artist. Other than that, I would do it all myself.
Yeah, that'll monkey wrench things.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, but I am working on the sequel right now to City of Venus. People have been waiting for this one. I kind of took a little bit of a break, and I was doing other projects. Because I have like this huge connected universe, but I did it in a way where you don't have to buy every book. So I have a pirate book.
Smart.
Yeah, I got this fantastic pirate book. I got the futuristic one. I have like contemporary ghost story, all these different things. But you're gonna see how they kind of connect, and it's more like I'm giving history to the world as well. So like this pirate book, it's in the same universe as the one that's set far into the future. And if you go back further enough, like you'll see these things, and you'll see certain elements pop up in certain books or Easter eggs, because I wanted to have that bigger, more lived-in kind of, again, universe.
Look at this image. That is awesome.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I know RT Bear, when he saw this when I first was kind of pushing this, he was like, "Wow, this is amazing." He goes, "This must have taken you forever to do." So, but. And again, I try to give a little bit of something for everyone. So like if you want one art book by itself, you could get that. If you want 2 art books together, that would be like over 200 pages of artwork. Then if you want to have the comic book in there, then I got 2 art books and 2 and 2 comic books.
Where do you want me to, you tell me where to go. You're talking and I realized I had the wrong image up.
Well, no, it's all good. But yeah, like I said, a little bit of everything. So if they just want the art books, the $85 one, that's the one to get. If you want a little bit more of like my actual storytelling and the comic book stuff, that one's a perfect one. And then I have the one with the pirate story, which the pirate one is bigger than City of Venus. City of Venus is 52 pages front cover to back. The pirate one is 52 from front cover to back cover. And yeah, it's all me. It's just a tremendous amount of work I've been putting into all this stuff. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I always ask this: like, did you go to art school? Or are you just naturally talented? I'm in awe of people that could draw. So forgive me if I'm asking silly questions.
Self-taught all the way.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and
did you help for McFarlane?
Not for Todd. I had another family member who did. And we both worked there together, which was that was kind of cool. But he's not really into this side of that stuff, so I don't bring it up. But we got in there at the same time, and I was doing all of the drawings. So I would do full lines of figures for Todd, and then we basically bring after they got approved, we'd bring them down to the sculpting department, and it's almost like the guys kind of picked who they kind of worked on. But at the time, because it was in-house, it's a whole different machine than what it is now. they would kind of like, you'd have someone rough out a figure completely, and then they start to chop it up and they give it to other people in the kind of sculpting department, and everyone would put a little extra detail. So you'd have these kind of, it was a crazy system how they work. It's rare that you get one guy do a piece from start to finish. There's usually multiple hands that got to sculpt, those figures. But now everything's digital, so it's a different animal.
Yeah, I know people who sculpt digitally. To me, that is just like a God-given talent. I'm in awe of it. I love your logo.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah.
The logo. Did you design that too? The little cup with the art.
Yep.
Supply? That is awesome.
Yeah, everything you see here is all me. The only project that it's not on this campaign, because it's a little bit trickier. I wanted to make this as simple as possible, because again, I'm juggling so many different things right now. So when I do fulfillment, it's easier for me to kind of bang everything in and out. I have a book that's a hardcover that's a little bit more oversized than your regular comic book, and it's a completed story. That's Through the Woods, and that's a horror story or a ghost story with horror elements to it. But by the time you get to the third act, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's something that everybody loved. I think made like $45,000 over on Indiegogo.
Now,
so like
the obvious question is, why aren't the mainstream guys hiring you to do comics? This is awesome.
Thank you, man. I ask myself that all the time. There's a lot of gatekeeping in the industry. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate truth. Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, but this is, but I would, if you were to draw my comic, I would be the happiest guy in the world. Not that I'm getting rid of Renzo anytime soon, but you know what I'm saying. It's awesome. You can do it all. You could do sexy monsters. You could do sharks eating people's faces. You could do creatures.
Oh, thank you, man. Oh, yeah. So I was known for my portraits as well. Some of the pieces I do have in some of my various books and stuff. It's so spot on. Because like I got a lot of recognition back in 2008. And no one crucified me for this. I did a whole bunch of political covers because I was great with portraits, and at the time I didn't care one way or the other. It's
job's a job.
Yeah, it's a job, right? As later on things became as monstrous as it is, and I can't stand certain people. But at the time, again, it was just I was doing those covers, but I got on national television with those too. I got interviewed by Nora O'Donnell. I had Larry King holding up my work. And it was crazy. A lot of stuff, and I thought for sure like the industry would jump, would pounce on me. I know the guys at Diamond love my stuff too. Steve Jeppy, he grabbed a couple of my pieces and he made it like full shots in his book for advertisement purposes and stuff, which was great. And even at their booths and at conventions, I did a couple of covers for Tim Seeley for Hack and Slash. One of which is it's like on the bottom of that campaign. It's like a 15 or 20 foot high banner.
I gotta look. I love tech. I just talked with Tim Seeley a couple weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his new comic, Local Man. Might as well give him a shout out too. Local Man's a great comic by Image Comics.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And again, I did a couple covers for him. One of them was the crossover with the Reanimator. So that was still at Devil's Due. But yeah, I've done a number of different projects all over the place. But to get that mainstream steady work, I was supposed to actually get a Spider-Man job.
You would be perfect for it.
I'm sorry?
I said you would be perfect for it.
Yeah, you do a beautiful Mary Jane. I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Yes, he's my number one, man. That's
Spider-Man's your could you do cityscapes and skyscrapers?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I have a beautiful Spider-Man piece. It was a double page spread. I actually have like a free comic book I did years ago, like maybe 15 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. But I put it online too, and it was Spider-Man and the Hulk. It was a crazy little story. But yeah, I got some stuff in there too. And that's older stuff, and people were still like, "Wow, this is impressive." And Stan Lee, he was the one that pushed me. He kept.
Oh wow!
I met him when I was 16, and he told me,
"Oh my God, you must have bananas."
Yeah, dude, he was like, "Yeah, you got the talent for this." But at the time, they were having their problems, and they filled up the stock market. It was right as the Spider-Man deal was being signed, and he told me, "Kid, go to the other company." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Marvel, they're not doing well. There's things I can't say, but go to the other company." if you want to get work. Like that's what he was telling me. But
Well, he was telling you to get work. He wanted you to work.
oh, absolutely. Because then years later,
I get nervous when people tell me stories about Stan Lee. I'm like, please don't tell me a horrible story.
Oh no. My encounters with him they've always been great. I met him 3 times. The second time I don't want to bother him. He was other people with him, but the third time he came by my booth. I was at C2E2 in Chicago, and he had like his entourage of folks there, and he stopped, and it was kind of hard to hear him, but I know he liked my work. He was pointing and stuff, and then he wanted to buy pieces from me, and he bought 2 pieces from me. So from kid, you got the stuff to we're gonna buy work from this guy, and fast forward a little bit after his passing, the guy who was handling a lot of his stuff, all of the original artwork reverted back to him. So he started selling some of them on eBay. A friend of mine was looking up some more of my stuff because he likes my convention sketches. And he goes, isn't this the piece that Stan Lee bought from you? And I went, wait, which one? And he sent it over. I'm like, yeah, that's it. And he goes, because I'm talking to this guy right now on eBay, and the guy gave me a message from Stan from Beyond the Grave. And he goes, he said in detail what had happened, when they came to the table, the pieces that Stan picked, all that stuff, So the guy, it was all verified through this guy. And he goes, oh, yeah, this is 100% legit. And he goes, oh, he told my buddy, he goes, if Vinny doesn't remember, this is what Stan had told us or told me when we did stop by. And he goes, I know the convention's allowed, and he was more frail at the time. And he goes, we have to buy work from this guy. He's the future of comics. That is what Stan Lee had said.
Nice.
And which was amazing.
I get nervous. I'm like, please don't tell me a bad Stan Lee story.
No. Those were good. The bad stories I have are more contemporary, current people like Joe Quesada, stuff like that.
Torchbearer Studios says, Vinny, did you work on the Sleeping Hollow toys while at McFarlane? We had the contract, and then McFarlane flew out and snatched the license from us.
Oh no! I came after that. I was there from around 2001. And I had work that was released up until about 2004. But now, even currently, his Kickstarter that's launched right now, that Medieval Spawn, there's an extra shield that's almost like kind of triangular shape. It's got extra designs on it, and the skull. That's my design.
Oh, cool.
They changed. I had a demon coming out of the shield, and they put like a Spawn skull instead on the top of it. But everything else, that's my design. So they're still using my stuff. And on his record-breaking, was it 301 or 302 cover? One of my Spawn designs was on the cover on the front, which is pretty cool.
He never had you draw the comics itself?
No.
Oh.
I thought I was going to get a chance with that whole contest thing that he did, but well, you saw the Spawn in the Violated Clown that I had in the trailer. Yeah,
I'm excited.
Everyone thought
I want to do with this channel. I never met you before, and now I'm excited about your work. It looks
thank you, man.
amazing. This is I love talking to people about comic books and comic book stuff. So this is really cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
And what is your favorite? Like right now, let's just imagine, Muckety Muck Comics says, Vinny, budget's whatever you rate you want, you could do whatever comic you want. What genre and what type of comic would you do?
Yeah, boy,
you seem to be very, very into sci-fi and fantasy more than your blue sky superheroes. I think that's
it's interesting, yeah, because a lot of my books they're not really tights.
I didn't see too much superhero stuff.
Well, City of Venus is going to delve into that. Trust me, my art book is loaded with your top tier superhero. I mean, there's a lot of tights in there. But either Batman or Spider-Man or Wolverine, those 3, yeah.
I just want to point out Torchbearer Studios. He says that your piece was better than some of the winners for the Spawn contest.
Thanks, man.
Torchbearer Studios, he has a comic coming out called Thug, and he's been slowly releasing images on Twitter. This is going to knock people's socks off when it comes out.
That's awesome.
I just want everybody to get whatever promotion I could possibly offer.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah.
Whatever you answer, somebody's going to get offended. This is the internet, Zarkan.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too with like the Todd situation. That contest was just PR. I knew it was just a public relation thing. He wanted to do advertisement for the 350, another groundbreaking thing for his books or whatever. The number he wanted to hit was 350. So that contest, Todd didn't really do anything. At the end, you had people who picked them all for him, and then he just kind of broke down a list of, let's say, maybe 20 or 30 of them, and he just kind of this one, and that one. Because that whole contest was a screw job. Basically, you had people who used AI to create those images, and one of the guys was braggadocious about it, cursed about it, made fun of people who spent hours working on it, and all I had to do was a couple of prompts. Like, that type of stuff ruins comics.
Yep.
Todd is not fighting for the independent creator when he hires people like that, or he has them win it. And because he's not paying attention, he don't care. He's got so many other things going on right now in his company. His toys have made him close to $500 million, maybe a little more. Like, he's been on that other level for decades now. And I hate to break it to people who are watching, that documentary where he lost his millions or whatever, it never happened. I was working for him when all that stuff was going down. He had to pay a couple of lawsuits, the Tony Twistelli, all that. He had to pay those off. Trust me, Todd was doing great. And I know for a fact.
Yeah, he bought like a hockey team right after that. You don't just buy a hockey team.
Thank you. He spent a ton of money. He bought the baseballs, and those baseballs made him so much cash, your jaw would hit the floor.
Really?
Because he had special figures that he brought to every single baseball game, and he was selling them for insane prices. They weren't like $20 a pop. We're talking $250, $500, depending on what the baseball player is. And yeah, I know a lot about that stuff. A whole lot.
I remember that when he.
And here's a tip: if you ever do get a chance to hold those home run balls,
hold Todd's balls. Yeah, RJ, have you ever held Todd's balls?
Nope.
Stay away from them. I know the guys who were driving all around the United States and what they had done with them. Do not touch those baseballs.
So RJ, little one, do not touch Todd's balls, okay? I remember that. That he spent like I don't even know how many millions, but I remember it. I was like, that was the first time I was just like, man, some comic book people like infinite money. He had a hockey team.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah. And with the contract he has now with DC, forget it. He became the #1 toy manufacturer in North America. I think it's like 2 years in a row now or something, or maybe a little longer. Yeah, Todd's doing great. But here's the thing, like these guys, they get to a next level that it's almost like they're not paying attention anymore. They say that for the independent guy, they're not. He's corporate. He couldn't be more corporate. And granted, like I said, there's good and bad that he's done, like anyone. But for the most part, he is great with fans. I'll definitely give him that. He learned a lot.
He's a guy that nobody has, every encounter with him, they're like, yeah, he was awesome. He looks you in the eye, he shakes your hand.
Yeah.
The stories that he doesn't go to the bathroom,
yeah.
Remember the stories like Bruce Springsteen? Bruce Springsteen used to clean up after the bands left and mop the stadium,
Oh, yeah.
You start to hear stories like that about Todd McFarlane. You start to wonder how much is folklore.
Oh, I got stories I can't say.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's a lot of stuff that some of the times when he did come
I got to ask you, are you a New Yorker?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Just when you said hello. Yeah, I'm a New Yorker. I'm in New York, born and raised in New York.
Oh, nice. What part?
I grew up in Nassau County, and then I lived in Queens, and now I'm in Suffolk County. Where are you?
Yeah, Queens.
I was going to say you are the poster child for Queens right over here.
Well, and that's the thing too. That's why I was supposed to have a Spider-Man gig. I was 2 weeks out from signing the contract, and I was working with Ralph Macchio and No Not the Karate Kid, the editor who's there since like
Hunk of the Month.
Yeah. And he was great too. He really fantastic. He loved all the stuff I was doing. And 2 weeks before I signed the contract, he goes, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to BS you. Joe Quesada is putting one of his friends on the book," and that was that. I was supposed to actually work with Mark Millar, which would have been amazing. And so this is
that would have been amazing. Yeah.
This is the roll of the dice sometimes, And Ralph wanted me on there. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then I find out like I had 3 encounters with Joe Quesada where he stole my work twice, traced over artwork, put it in his Daredevil book. Like, this is how a lot of the people in the industry are. They don't care where they get their ideas from. They'll steal them. They'll do whatever. You know, it's shady.
I'm not the biggest fan of Joe Quesada myself.
No, it's
I was Marvel's electrician when he was in his office, and I would look at him and I'd shake my head. I'm like, you're ruining my Marvel comic.
Oh yeah. He's responsible for bringing in the weird activist that came in.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff that happened, but one day I'd love to work on those characters again. But again, the industry is very bizarre, and right now I know the comic book market in general has been down for a very long time. The last year alone, I think they said they were hemorrhaging like 71%. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I for the past 2 weeks, and RJ, what do you think about? I never asked you about this. I kind of like got into like a little argument with Rich Johnson. You know, comic books are booming, and his evidence was like Dogman and Asterisk sales. So like, I didn't know anything about Dogman, so I actually did like a half hour or an hour video on Dogman. I decided that Dogman is a comic book, but it's sold through Scholastic and blah blah blah. So I think like the North American direct market comic book. When we say comic books, us comic book people, us people in the chat right now, I think, and that without fear of contradiction, that we're all talking about going into the comic book stores Wednesdays, picking up your Marvels, picking up your Spider-Man, picking up your Fantastic Fours. Do we agree that is just dying?
It is.
Manga is picking up, but and yes, Dogman is selling, but that's through Scholastic. That's a whole nother way. But the traditional newsstand direct market is hemorrhaging.
Yeah. Because their prices, they keep shooting the prices up. There's less content that's in the books. And then the stuff that is in there, a lot of these writers they put their strange views in there.
Yep.
Look at Mark Waid. He doesn't care if the industry goes down tomorrow, as long as, I got to tell my story, so I don't care. That's
probably a millionaire. He's probably a multimillionaire.
Oh, absolutely.
Who cares about the artist?
It's stuff like that and I know like there's been people, retailers, Mark Miller, he had done that whole thing. Like he talked to a bunch of comic shop owners and stuff, and they kind of broke it down too. And that's what really upset the mainstream as well, because you can't keep putting your hands over your eyes and saying everything's fine.
Well, they tried to cancel Mark Millar, if you remember that. And
I remember.
At this point, you know what I mean?
Oh, it's a joke.
Put up his force field, deflected the criticisms, and then other people had to like move on. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, the comic book, we need to change." That I was so glad that he brought that up. He was in an unassailable position.
Yeah. Oh, because he's got money, so he doesn't have to worry about it. Everyone else, most of them worry about it, and maybe that's the thing too. I don't know, because there's a lot of creators that we're not given the chance, because they rather hire third world artists and stuff on these books. I saw a trend of that for a while. I know a lot of them, they're being busted for tracing over stuff and stealing artwork from others, using AI in their artwork now. We've had people like, was it Greg Land, who just traced over photos? Like, we had these type of artists, but when you open the door to that, that's what you're going to get a lot of now. And that's what's been happening. And a lot of people who don't learn the basics. I have a YouTube channel. Actually, I have 2 now, but I had like master classes, because I thought, especially when I got into the indie scene, you had to give back. You wanted to help people. So I was teaching people how to draw. And a lot of it was either upsetting folks, or they didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to spotlight these things. I'm like, I thought we're supposed to be building stuff. If we want to replace the mainstream, it's not about replacing. Even Todd said it. There's no replacing the mainstream. I'll say it like, I got a book called Spawn. Spawn is not going to replace Spider-Man. Never going to happen. And he's right. But he's competing with them. There's a difference. So when you have someone who is at the height of the independent scene, had the #1 book, all this stuff, still the #1 independent book, and he's saying there's no replacing them, that's the truth. What you want to do is coexist with them.
Right.
Now, here's the problem: is there's so many of these people in the industry. They're not your old school ones. Your John Buscema's, your old time guys. They would pass that knowledge on to the younger guys. You'd have Mark Silvestri. He was under the wing of Buscema. He helped Jim Lee. You had, and a lot of this knowledge. You had Jack Kirby. He was giving a lot of his knowledge to people. Then when you had their superstar late 90s, that type of stuff, when they started blowing up, or mid 90s, they started blowing up, making all this money, they pulled the ladder up behind them. And that's where you get your Joe Quesada, the people who just squeaked in, who did a lot of damage. They pulled the ladder up behind them. And it's just my friend circle only. This is what's destroyed comic books. A lot of people are afraid to say it, or they don't have the balls to say it. It's that and the activist crap. Sorry, I don't want to hear about your politics. When I pick up a superhero book, I want to know what those characters are going through. Give me that. And they go, oh, X-Men was always one of those books. X-Men
was on the verge of cancellation for most of its history.
Yes, exactly. That's a different scenario. We're not LGBT fighting white, straight, whatever their books turn to shit. I don't know what they're doing, but you need someone in there that's going to be able to really. You need a Jim Shooter is what you need in there. You need someone who knows
Shooter, because Jim Shooter cracked the whip and made people work and produce. RJ, you could go right. RJ, Jim Shooter took Marvel over from like all the hippies that were like.
Oh yeah, definitely. He turned it into a well-oiled machine. And I have to say, Vinny, I think you hit on something. I think that's what happened to poor Ed Piskor, is the fact that he taught people how to do things the old way, and that's why he was targeted. Because he's passing on knowledge, and just this is the way to make a good comic, solid comic, to make sure you get an industry that actually works, and he got targeted for that.
Oh, RJ, did you make a video that made that claim, or is that your boy Zach, or is that both of you?
I don't know. I did make a video about it. I just talked about it briefly in one of my videos, but when it was, I don't remember.
Yeah, that was chilling, because Vinny, I don't know what you know, but Ed Piskor unfortunately killed himself after a whole bunch of pressure.
Oh yeah. I heard from both sides. It was,
but that's one of the things, and I'm not gonna pretend that I really knew Ed Piskor. I didn't know about him until after he died. So I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I loved it. You know what I mean? But I'm learning about him now. But that's one of the things that he was doing, was teaching about the past of comics. And when I was like, they went after him because of that. It actually scared me. Like, no horror comics could be scarier than that.
Oh yeah. Again, like I exposed a group a couple of years ago because they were harassing someone, and they almost pushed one of my good friends to do that. He came very close. He was in a mental hospital and everything because of the attacks, and it was from that specific group, the CG ones. So I made a live stream about it. I flipped out, because normally I stay away from all that crap. I don't want to.
I stay away from drama too.
Yeah, if drama starts,
I got involved in some a couple of weeks ago.
Well, but here's the situation. This is why all those books were late. And this is why, again, the crowdfunding websites and platforms are hurt so bad, because you had these people with these bigger names who haven't fulfilled projects in years. For a fact, there's like one that's either 4 or going on 5 years that still hasn't been fulfilled or even finished drawing. And it's one of the bigger name ones in that circle, right? And this is what hurts those platforms, because then there's the good faith is gone. Consumers don't care anymore. So this is they systematically did it. Every time there was a good group of people that were building up, they dropped poison in the middle of them so that they would all scatter like roaches, and they keep the little percentage of the pie. So when my friend was pushed almost to that edge, that's when I talked about it, and I showed their receipts and all that crap. I had to get the cyber division of the FBI involved, because someone was trying to fraud me and PayPal and. Oh, it was a whole mess of shit. So I showed this stuff. So that's the stuff that these people do. It's crazy to see the shit that's going on. All these weirdos, the stalkers. There's a ton of bad stuff. That's why I've been staying away from all this crap, because I don't need it. I don't want it. And everyone's learning the truth that I said during that stream. Everyone sees it now, and they're all afraid to talk about it. So
I just want to say this. Thank you, Barbara Streisand. Thank you, Barbara Streisand. If anybody knows what I'm talking about.
It's nuts, man.
All I'm saying is when you're talking about how much you hate that guy, all you're really doing is giving that guy a spotlight. So
Yeah, and they're not
when
getting.
you talked about hating me, I got my views went up, my subscribers went up, my sales went up. So thank you, Barbara Streisand.
Oh yeah, same thing happened to me too. They try to collectively get a bunch of them to go after me, and that's what happened. My channel blew up more, and they couldn't even ratio me. So because people would watch the video and go, "Oh, he's right."
Ratio. I still little. I guess I'm an old boomer. I still don't understand what ratios is. I'm like, at least they watched the video, whether they liked it or not. They still watched it.
Where they try to downvote you or try to hurt your channel or something crap
But
like
all
that.
it really is telling YouTube this guy's being watched. You know.
Yeah.
So downvote me all you want. So
It's nuts.
this is all of your creator-owned stuff. This is, I just love this artwork. I'm gonna bring you.
Through the Woods, Shadow of the Kraken, City of Venus, the art books. I even did a kids book at one point too with my
what
brother.
was that called?
That was the Ghostly Manor on Howling Hill.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I sort of released it twice. It had its own campaign, and then I was gonna move, and then I found another box of like a first edition, so I put them up on one of the other campaigns, and they went like in a month, so that was good.
There was a question in the chat that I lost. Oh well, if anybody had a question that I didn't, just ask it again. I'm sorry. Do you have a website that you want to push? Anything you want to put in the?
Well, I had a couple of links that I dropped in there. I got a link tree as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't see all the links. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got so much stuff right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, there you go. I'm starting from the bottom up, so I can put all your links in here.
I got to say, Vinny, one of the things you just talked about, it just connects with what you talked about at the first, is the fact that everybody, I think, like you, needs to get on board with not just making, superior art and good stories, but timeliness is something that nobody really has caught on to yet. And, you can draw and your schedule and you get it out there on time. And once we get a number of people like that can work on independent comics, then we can have, besides groping around in the dark, creating things here and there like we do now, start to, an independent scene that is going to coexist with the big two, like you say.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's the thing. They're not putting any product out. They rather have drama streams and fight and collect super chats. That's more important to them. They don't care about comics. They don't care about the fans. I've heard them after streams. It's the same shit. So I'm like, I care about making the comic books. That's why I didn't want anything to do with that stuff. And that's what I'm doing. That's how I got all these projects out on time. This is campaign number 8. I try not to launch anything until my book is at least 90% done or 100% done. And not everyone could do that.
Well, you're the guy. You're the one guy. That's awesome that you could do it all. I didn't launch my comic until I was about 85% done.
Oh,
and even then, I had some hiccups and heartaches. And even then, I'm still above schedule.
Yeah. Because I had the pirate book. I was, I think, a month and a half late, but that's because I caught COVID. So it's like, oh, well, and it ate me up inside. I'm like, how do these people go years without fulfilling their projects? Years. How do you take someone's money and not give them product and be A-okay and launch 8 more campaigns? That's insane to me.
Yeah. All I got to say in their defense is apparently their fans don't care because then they back the next thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a different mentality. They're supporting the YouTuber and their merch. It's not about the product. Not about
comics.
Yeah, they could be selling socks or underwear. It doesn't matter. It's I'm gonna do it because that's so and so. But I don't know. You could see each campaign that they do, and it keeps going lower and lower. Like they're alienating so many people, and they're destroying this. But Brian Kriskop, he's an awesome creator as well. I did a cover for him for Six Gun Gorilla. One of his
I met Brian, and he said he's going to send me some six. Brian, don't send me. I'll pay for it. I'm not. I don't like to. I get embarrassed when people say they're going to send me stuff. I feel like a moocher. My cousin Vinny, Purple. Okay, all right. I guess you sound like my cousin Vinny. I lived in Queens. Where in Queens? Did you live anywhere near Flushing?
I was around that area. Middle Village is
okay.
Middle
Village.
Ground.
Yeah, that was by my bus stop.
Yeah, and Glendale. Yeah, when I was older, I went back. I moved a couple of times when I went back up there. Yeah, Glendale is where I lived for a minute.
Yeah, I lived in Fresh Meadows, and I would go to Flushing. Chinese food. Oh my God, you just walk into any restaurant, you sat down, they were confused because they weren't used to white people. You know that you couldn't read the menu, and you were looking at pictures and hoping it wasn't a live octopus. I loved it.
That's the one thing I do miss about it, because like, yeah, you could any food that you want, you could just go down one of the main streets, and you want pizza, get pizza. You want Chinese, you want German food, there's German food.
Yeah,
it was everything.
Because I lived in Albuquerque for years, and then when I moved back to New York, they're like, "Oh, you're not going to get good Mexican food." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Have you been to New York? You can get whatever you freaking want here, And out here in Suffolk, there's a Chinese place, same thing. These people don't speak any English. Like if I go to a Chinese place and these people can't speak English, I'm sitting down and putting a menu, a napkin in my because it's going to be good Chinese food.
Yeah.
Only thing I can't find out here is good Indian food so far. But,
okay.
Yeah. If you went to Elmhurst, are you anywhere near Elmhurst? Oh my God. Elmhurst is just like an open air mall of the best Indian food, and you go there in the springtime, they put up lights in the street. There were some great things about Queens, but COVID killed it all.
Oh, dude, I know. I still have family that's there. It's sad what the hell happened.
Yeah, I had to get out. As much as I liked it there, because like there was little ethnic areas. There was a Chinese area. There was the Indian area, a German area, and you could just go and get whatever foods you want by authentic off the boat people. It was delicious. But COVID came and people got weird and creepy, and all the restaurants closed. Are you still in Queens now?
No. I'm down south.
I had to leave. Oh, Logic is in Bayside.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Indian food is the shiznit. I missed Indian Row in Manhattan. Yeah. East 6th Street. East 6th Street. You walk down that street, guys are practically grabbing you and pulling you. And
oh, wow.
Go to Hicksville for some good Indian food. Yes, he's absolutely right. Paul's my buddy Paul. His character may or may not appear in the next 2 issues of Heroic Tales, depending upon if he takes me to lunch like he said he was going to or not. We got Crom the Destroyer. This is RJ, my silent partner. I'm the Groucho. He's my Harpo, my Groucho over here. Cool. His comic. Nick showed me a couple of drawings. I can't wait. You like barbarian stuff? You can't.
Oh yeah. There's a book out too. It's more of an indie guy. Barbaric. A guy. He's got like a talking axe or something.
What's it called?
Barbaric.
Oh, Barbaric? I don't know. There's so much stuff right now.
There's a lot of good fantasy stuff coming out too. A lot of good.
Yeah. There's some crazy stuff. It's pretty cool though, man. I like seeing new stuff. I just picked up one today. I don't normally go. It's been a minute, so I wanted to get Capullo's new Wolverine. I had to go out and get that. So, but yeah, my pile. I got like 3 books, and that's the thing too. It's like you said, man. Those days are kind of gone where you talk with other people, picking up the new books, because there's not really much there. And it's like you'll go in, you'll grab 1 or 2 things and then leave. Or a lot of people won't even grab anything. I saw that when I was there today. There's like 4 families that came in. They bought nothing and just left.
Yeah, I went to I've been to a comic book store about 4 times in the past couple of months. I went to Free Comic Book Day.
Yep. And
I have to admit, there was like, you're like, get 10 of these. They had it on the table. You could pick 10. And I was talking with Vaughn Coleman, and I'm like, can you believe there's not even 10 free things that I want?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's crazy.
I guess I'll get this, But like I was at 8 things. I was like, oh, this I want. Oh, Hellboy. I'll definitely get Hellboy. Oh, this looks pretty cool. This one I'll get because that creator's right over there. It'll be embarrassing not to take it.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because that's why I was at Free Comic Book Day, because I did a signing, and my buddy was there, Ray Park. Darth Maul. I've known him for years. And
oh, really?
First thing he did, I got to hang out with him at a convention. I almost took him to Universal Studios when we were in Orlando, because we were in the same hotel, and me and my brother like, yeah, we're gonna go over there. And he was by the bar just by himself, and we came over and we started chatting with him a little bit. And like, yeah, we're actually going over. He was having a great time. And we had met each other way earlier. Like I was, maybe I was like 18 or something. He was just he had just finished shooting Sleepy Hollow. He did all the Headless Horseman stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you didn't know that. So yeah, he was just starting to hit some pretty good gigs. And I had met him at a show over there. We never really talked, but he even remembered. He was like, "Wait a minute, that was like the New York AppleCon, right? They didn't have the New York Comic Con yet." I said, "Yeah, it was in that one hotel." And he remembered, and we were just kind of chatting and stuff. And yeah, we were getting pretty friendly. And he was like, he almost went with us. He goes, "Here's the thing: if I go there, though, people are gonna take photos, and if my kids see those, I'm done. They're gonna
Right. You went to Disneyland without me?
Basically, yeah, or Universal Studios." And he's like, "Yeah, it wouldn't have worked out." But over the years, we kept in touch, and even like when I launched like the Pirate Book, he was doing free promotion for me, which was awesome. Like he was putting it on his Instagram and stuff. So yeah, when I saw him at Free Comic Book Day, that's the first thing he did. He stopped everyone before he did his line, before he signed anything. He came because I got to go see my mate Vinny. Gave me a big hug. We took some photos and stuff, and kind of kept me caught up a little bit, which was really cool.
In the old days, you either Marvel or DC, but we never attacked each other. Absolutely. It was fun. Now it's so vitriolic and hateful. Personal attacks and insults, lies and opinions. Yeah. I used to love that. Like, I'm sure you don't know, but on Fridays, I do a show called It's Clobbering Time. Nice. And we pick two characters and we argue, friendly argument about who would win, Batman or Spider-Man.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I mean? And the premise is, it's like, remember when you were 13 years old, you went to the comic book store on Wednesday and everybody was standing around and like, what are you kidding me? The Legion of Superheroes are so much better than the Avengers.
Yeah.
And nobody fist fought. And then like you both got on your bicycle and rode away,
Yeah. Have a fun time with those characters you've been reading, Right. It makes sense. It's cool. You nerd out. We don't do that anymore. Like
with somebody, that means you hate them.
The chat's right. They're ready to pull a knife out and stab people. But it's been what 7 years now or so, or close to it. That's the type of attitude a lot of the YouTubers have been doing. And granted, because I talk about it too, the mainstream, the people behind the scenes, they really do hate the customer and they hate the product. It's just it was so hot at the time that they were doing it anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, all these superhero movies. How many actors did you see? I can't stand the superhero stuff. They try to shit on it, and then it wouldn't go away. And it's like, oh, I can't wait to be in the next Avengers movie. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to land. So it's filled with fake people, top to bottom.
Well, I don't like any actor as Yeah.
There's a handful that I know.
Like RJ, actors and school teachers. I just don't like them until I learn otherwise.
I thought you were a school teacher at one point, John.
Yeah, that's what opened my. Oh my God, I never met a bunch of stupider people than school teachers. Yeah. They all got the job because they wanted summers off.
Pretty much.
We'll tell you that.
Pretty much, yeah. I know a few too. I even have a family member that's up there.
RJ, did you ever come to New York for Big Apple Con or for Comic Con?
No. I've only been to New York once, and that was passing through while I was going to North Carolina.
Oh, so you never like spent any time in Manhattan or Queens?
No. Beantown is where I'm familiar with.
Oh, I mean, at one point it was great. I mean, I don't know how old you are, Vinny, but like my whole 20s, I was all over Manhattan. Going to clubs, going to bands, going to comic stores.
Oh yeah, well that's when I was up there. I was living in Queens when I was doing the McFarlane job, so I was traveling all the time. So I got very familiar with Manhattan, especially Midtown, and I became great friends with like the guys at Midtown Comics. That was those people were pretty cool. And I'll tell you one thing too. I was there when 9/11 happened, and I was literally moving that weekend, so everything got postponed, frozen. I'm like, what the hell happened? We didn't have a TV, didn't have anything. Just had a phone call from my uncle, like, Did you hear what happened? I'm like, how are we supposed to know what happened? What's going on? We don't have a TV. We don't have nothing in here right now. And the
you were downtown Manhattan when it happened?
No, I was in Jersey already. Like, we went there at night when that weekend. We started bringing some stuff there, and then we were waiting for a truck to come to bring the rest of the stuff, and everything got frozen, postponed. Like, what's going on? I had borrowed a television from someone at work, and they're like, yeah, and they broke everything down. We were hearing it over the phone as it was happening, which is insane.
I was a school teacher in a classroom, so I had no idea. You know, I had third graders.
wow.
So wisely, the principal just didn't announce everything. The principal just wanted to keep all the kids safe and you know. So we're just doing our lessons, blah 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 blah. And this old teacher just sticks her head in the doorway and goes, "A plane hit the World Trade Center. We're at war." And I just looked at her and said, "Vicky, get out of my classroom. You're scaring my like I had no."
Oh yeah.
You know, no concept of what was going on, and I'm like, you know, we'll go back to reading whatever stupid story.
Yeah, it's like we all just got punched in the face and had no clue. And
you know, I had no, and then I just left. I had fourth period free, and I'm like, I need to get something to eat. So I get in the car, I drive to the deli, and I'm just like listening. I got my CD player on, so I'm not listening to the news. I'm listening to music. I walk into the deli, and I'm like, no, let me get. And everybody's facing the TV, you know, and I'm like, hey. I'm trying to get an egg sandwich over here. You know, I was that jerk. You know, like
out of a Simpson.
And that's when I found out what was. I was like, oh my god, you know what I mean? I had no clue.
I'll tell you one thing: when everything that kind of went down, they didn't tell you. No one said shit because the news wouldn't cover it. There were factions of people you could tell were not American who were very happy dancing in the streets. Because when I was in Jersey, we were up in the sticks, and the people that were there, you did not want to do that. And I saw some horrific things. So I'm like, I'm staying inside. I'm going to wait a couple of days till things kind of blow over. Because holy crap, you'd have. We're talking comics. Maybe we shouldn't go there, but it's crazy.
We're not
to see
making RJ uncomfortable at all. Not at all.
But here's you see the difference between the lunatics who really hate the country and what happened to them from good old American boys, which was amazing to see. And they shut that shit down right away, I'll say. And then a couple of weeks prior, when I finally did go back to Manhattan, because it was a couple of weeks, there was a lot of stuff. They still didn't want people anywhere near the area. I had friends who went down there to help clean up. And years later, they got cancers and all sorts of things. It was horrible. But when I finally went back there, I went to Midtown Comics. Went up there. Have you ever been to Midtown?
Yeah, I've been to Midtown. I worked there. You know, I'm a construction worker, so I would work there. Then I would work other places. Nice. You know, so I have an account there that I probably haven't used in 15 years.
Oh yeah.
So you go the comics yet.
Yeah, so you go up the first flight of stairs, then it's the main comic books, and you go up the next flight, and there's all the toys and the statues and some back issues and stuff.
Yeah,
I got to the second set of stairs, and do you remember Rob? He was one of the co-owners.
I wouldn't remember their names.
Tall guy. He ran over. He was sobbing. Ran over and hugged me. He thought I was working in the World Trade Center.
Oh, wow.
Because we were there all the time. And then, like, when it happened, we weren't there. He ran over crying. Thank God you're alive. I thought you died. But everybody was like that. Everyone, you could see the heart that everyone had. Everyone was connected. It's years later, things got more insane. Then the political shit that really, I mean, we're at an insane time. I wouldn't go to New York go back to New York if you paid me to.
There's only one reason I would go into Manhattan right now is
pizza.
There's only two reasons I'd go into Manhattan. One is for pizza. Two is I've been having phone conversations with Larry Lieber, Stan Lee's brother.
Oh, nice.
You know, the guy's in his upper 90s, and he doesn't want to travel. And he's, you know, with all of this, you know, anti-Semitism going on right now, the guy's basically shut it.
Wow.
I wanted to go and take him out to dinner, you know, but until I get this, I broke my neck. Until I get this collar off, I'm a shut in myself.
Wow. How did that happen, by the way?
I passed out while driving. You know, I was driving all tunnel vision, and I wake up just in time.
Wow.
My last thought was, "This is it. This is how it ends." You know what I mean? Like you get like, I don't know about you guys, but I got like really like calm and like logical. Like it hit, everything went off, and I'm like, okay, am I on fire? Is there glass? You know what I mean? I started doing like checks. You know what I mean? But
I hope everything's okay now. I mean, did you get
just 8 weeks in a neck brace. If not this Friday, but the following Friday, We already did an MRI, and if it's healing, it's just 8 weeks in a next brace, and if it's not healing, I got to get surgery.
Oh wow! Well, dude, I'm praying for you, brother.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just shut it. You know what I mean? Like, my wife wouldn't let me lift boxes. You know what I mean? So like,
good. You shouldn't.
she's good. She's right. I'm not. She's absolutely right. But I've learned, and RJ will back me up. There's only about 2 weeks a man can do nothing before they start to feel it.
Oh yeah.
Oh
RJ,
yeah.
what do you feel like?
Antsy. Yo, trust me, I know.
RJ's up there in the woods right now, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
the camera's off right now because he's got no shirt on and he's whittling like a wheelbarrow or something like that.
Holy crap. Did they ever find out what was the cause of the tunnel vision? Did they?
I just went to the doctors yesterday. Right away in the hospital, they checked for a heart attack, they checked for a stroke. They checked all the big things. So, all the it's not this, it's not this, it's not this. So it's probably like it was 106 degrees that day.
Oh, wow.
I slept 6 hours because that's what I normally sleep during the workday. I'm a construction worker. I was outside in that heat. And I normally take the train to work, but that day I drove in because my buddy gave me an air conditioner. And I was like, I'm leaving at lunchtime. So I didn't eat. So I had 3 cups of coffee and no food. And as I was driving home, it was just
wow.
So we think it's like a blood sugar thing, or maybe
it could be. Yeah, if it's blood sugar and the heat, it was that much. Yeah, some kind of like heat stroke mixed with
I had my air conditioning on. It was freezing in the car. So, but they say heat stroke could affect you later. I don't know. I'm not.
For sure.
So that's and I remember, I'm like, I got off the highway because I didn't feel right. So I got off 2 exits early.
Well, yeah, if
I had passed off on the LIE, I would have hit somebody. I would have killed somebody.
Oh yeah,
so
man.
I got off.
Thank God it wasn't worse.
Yeah. So I said, I'm going to pull into this gas station right over here. I don't feel right. And I looked, and the light just turned red. At the intersection, and this was a major intersection. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna. And thank God I did that, because I would have driven straight. Because as I passed out, I accelerated. So I was speeding up into the tree.
Wow.
There was a guy who was behind me, turned out to be a fire chief. He said I just went vroom and sped up into the tree. So so he's just like, this guy must have passed out and leaned on the gas.
Yeah.
He was absolutely. And here's the funny thing. I hit the tree. I'm all like, okay, and I look up, and it's the skipper from Gilligan's Island. Literally, the guy had a blue suit. He had the hat on because he was a fire chief.
Oh wow.
And he had the white hair and everything. He's 3 weeks away from retirement. And I'm just like, it's the skipper from Gilligan's Island. And then another car pulled up. These 2 girls came out. And they just started yelling. They were librarians. I don't know why. But I'm looking, and I'm dazed. I'm in shock. And I'm going, that's the skipper. That's Ginger and Marianne. Who would have thought that my afterlife would have been, I'm Gilligan. Oh my God. And then I'm thinking, is this hell? Like, I can't figure out if me being Gilligan is heaven or hell. Like,
Oh man.
And he came over, and then like slowly, it was like 7 veils were lifted as I came to not consciousness, but like rationalization. But I'm laughing. I'm like, you're the skipper. And I'm like, you're Marianne and Ginger. And the girl's like, They must have been relieved that I wasn't covered in blood or on fire.
Oh, yeah. But they clearly, he's got a head injury.
Yeah. So, and they told me but I couldn't get up. Man, my neck hurt that day. The neck hurt for 2 days,
Jeez.
Yeah. You okay, little buddy?
Yeah. Man, you got lucky, man. Yeah, that could have.
Then they called the police, and I don't know. It must have been whatever. Pent up a drug. The police came, and I was like, you want to effing give me a drug test? Like, I was nasty. You want to and I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'll effing pass your drug test. The cops are like, all right, it's cool. I guess they didn't want to tase the guy who was a gimp in the car.
Because he's got a broken neck. He can't keep your head up.
It's cool, buddy. We know you're not, And then some guy comes out with a phone and starts filming. Because across the street, there were houses. This side was like the median. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you turn off that effing phone. So somewhere on YouTube, guys, if you can find John's Longbox goes berserk in a wrecked car, I'll pay for that footage.
Oh, that's funny. Holy hell.
And now, and then RJ, do you agree with me? Could you how long could you sit at home and do nothing before you go crazy.
Oh no, I can't make it through 2 days. That's why I got
he's like a homesteader up there. You know, he goes outside. He has like an umbrella so he can stream. You know what I mean? He's
holy crap.
So
yeah, yeah. When I had COVID, it was the same deal. Like I just kept going back to the desk to draw and stuff. And one night I just I went to go to the bathroom and I came out and I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling so good. I see all the spots and I'm like, I think I can make it to the bed, and I just fell on the floor.
Oh, really? You
Yeah, I blacked out.
Wow.
Yeah,
I had COVID too. I was at work and we will unload a delivery truck, and it was 17 flights underground. So we had to go up 17 flights, grab boxes off the truck, go down 17 flights, drop them off, go back up. So of course they picked the 56-year-old guy to help unload that truck.
Why not?
And I'm just leaning against the wall wheezing. And I just figured because I was out of shape. And one of the guys goes, "You have COVID." It just kept on walking, you know. And the foreman goes, "Yeah, you got to go get tested." And I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm just out of shape. 17 flights, you know." He's like, "No." So I had to go walk down, got tested. I had COVID. They sent me home for 2 weeks. I lasted 3 days before I was painting the basement. I can't sit still. Men can't sit still.
Yeah,
sorry, women.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. Yeah, I can't just sit in bed. Like it's anyway, that's one of the worst things you could do when they said when you had it anyway. Like you should be getting sunlight. You know, there's like so many different things that was contradictory to what Fauci was trying to say. That
I you know, because they were calling me up and they're like, "Hey, who are you with?" I'm like, "None of your business is who I'm with," because because this was literally like they announced COVID as a thing, and then 4 days later, I was sent home with COVID. I didn't know, was I going to get rounded up? Like I legitimately got scared. So I was just like, I don't have COVID. Like I wouldn't admit it. And then I was getting scared. Like, how bad is it? Because you know, this was like the first 2 weeks, so I didn't know. Like, So I you know, there was no shot or anything at this point. So I was legit scared of COVID. And I'm like, well, at least I'm going to paint. If I'm
more afraid of the shots.
Yeah, well, the shots weren't even a twinkle in anybody's eyes at that point.
Oh yeah. It was something that was already patented though a long time ago. But that's another conversation.
Yeah. Try being. Yeah, Marcus was in a coma.
Wow.
Marcus, did they put you on a ventilator? Because I heard that the ventilator was like the worst thing.
Oh yeah, it was taking people out left, right, and center.
Yeah.
I knew someone who they got brought into one of the hospitals, and on the floor he was at, he was the only one who survived because he ripped it out in the middle of the night.
Yeah. We're not making RJ uncomfortable. He just wants to talk about comic book.
I'm sorry.
No, man, I'm good.
The world's gone into so many crazy places. That's why we got this cool entertainment, and you know I keep all this shit out of my stories and books. Although Venus is, I came with that story long before any of that stuff. It's something that it takes place so far into the future.
Well, let's look at this. Look at this. Great. Why you never got to draw Spawn is a shame. Look at that.
Well, I drew him so many times when I was designing those figures. That's It's funny. That's the first time I drew that character like in 20 something years. Because I had my fill of that character after having worked for him. Because I used to say it's like a Mr. Rogers field trip that had gone wrong. Because it's like once you're first there, it's like, oh, it's cool to see everything. It's cool to meet everybody and work with these teams and stuff. Then you start to see the stupid inner politics and how nasty people are and who's trying to steal money from Todd and all this other stuff that was going on in there at the time. And so like by the time I left, I'm like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with this crap. So I stayed away from the character for such a long time. But I'll tell you one thing though, it came to me so naturally drawing him in that clown violator that I did like in the sewer. Those two pieces, they were a lot of fun to do, and I banged them out so quick.
Now, when you were a kid, you said Spider-Man was your comic?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that you would, that was like the thing you collected more than anything else?
Yeah, a kid from Queens, I Forest Hills, all that stuff. I was that was my jam. So, and Peter was the everyman, the guy. He always did the right thing no matter what shit landed on his lap. He still did the right thing, even when he didn't have to, or You
That's
know,
why I get so mad when people say they can't. I can't identify with Peter Parker. It's like, why? Are you a monster?
exactly.
You know?
How do you not identify with him?
Yeah.
You know,
How do you not identify with Peter Parker? Like,
yeah,
do
have
you
you
have
not
problems in life?
have you not lost someone in your life? You know,
Right.
Like,
Unless you were good looking and you always got the girl, because that, I definitely got that with Peter until later on. Let's admit it, Peter became a player later on in life.
yeah,
all the hottest
but,
girls in the world were throwing him. But
yeah, but don't worry, Marvel ruined that too when they put him together with a midget. And took Octavius's brain and put it into him. What the hell kind of storyline was that?
Yeah, Vinny was already talking that he met Stan Lee, and I got nervous because
Stan bought 2 of my original pieces. Amazing.
Early Peter Parker I thought was a phenomenal character. It was so different than anything else.
That was a fun thing about the 80s, though, when you're growing up with those comics. And for Peter Parker was, slightly older than me. So, you got to see this guy getting more mature, this guy getting married, this guy having a family. And that was something really different for comic books at that time. And that's where the character should have stayed.
Yeah. Oh, good night, Torchbearer. Good to see you.
Yeah, have a good night.
Yeah, I still am mad that they broke up the marriage. Like, that just showed me that the people at Marvel Comics themselves weren't mature.
Yeah, and that's all thanks to Joe Q. He was going through a divorce, so he wanted to ruin their best-selling.
I didn't know that.
Character. Oh yeah. He was always pushing his views on stuff. That's why Wolverine stopped smoking. It's also
that I knew.
Him.
Oh, but I didn't know he was getting divorced at the time.
Oh yeah. He ruined
the
so
missing
much.
piece of the puzzle.
Yep.
Not only stopped smoking, but they went back and digitally recreated a lot of the old books that they have online at the Marvel.com. So they take it out.
They're walking vaginas, but yet they're releasing Red Band comic books. There's so much violence. They're so hypocritical and retarded. This is again, you got these people that are in charge that don't know what they're doing at all, and they just ruin everything. Right. This is why with Michael Straczynski, why he left Spider-Man. It's because Joe Q. He ruined it all, and he had a storyline he was going to do, and Aunt May was supposed to die. There's a series of things that were supposed to unfold, and they just progressively ruined the character. The Brand New Day, that was like the final straw that broke the camel's back and whatnot.
Yeah, I think there's no hope for Marvel and DC unless they just do a total house cleaning. They got to get rid of from top to bottom.
I've been saying this for years, but they won't do it right now because they're also because of Disney and everything. They're getting bailouts and stuff from the government. Look at the latest Indiana Jones movie. They go, oh, it's $300 million. Oh, haha, it failed. It wasn't haha, it failed. They used our money to pay for that movie. Yep. Disney didn't put up a dime. And they've done that with a bunch of other flops of theirs. That's why they don't care, because they want to push agenda and this other weird stuff that's going on because they're getting pats on the head by the government for doing this crap.
I mean, just the Deadpool movie just came out. Yeah. And then what does Marvel do? They kill off Deadpool and they make a female Deadpool in the comics literally the same day the Deadpool movie comes out. It's like this is beyond incompetence. This design.
It is. Oh, they're brain dead. Do you remember when Captain America hit? What did they do in the comics? They turned him into a Nazi.
Yeah.
So you have prime reasons for people like, okay, everyone just saw Captain America. They're running to the comic shop. They can't wait to read the new comic book. Oh, it's a brand new book. What? Oh, he's a Nazi. They drop the book and walk out. Great job, Marvel. Great job. This is because these people are brain dead. The people who are put into these positions, they're pushing agenda, and that's where all this comes from. This is where it all stems from, and we've all seen it already. This is why everyone walked away from this kind of entertainment. Look at all the movies that flopped. Deadpool Wolverine did well. Why? It was an actual entertaining movie, a good movie. Why? Because Ryan Reynolds gave a shit about that character.
Yeah, and he's the one that made that
and everything. Yeah,
yeah. That movie, the whole Deadpool franchise is all because of him.
Oh yeah, yep. And I know a lot of people they didn't even want to touch it; they want to go away from it. I had another connection with the character and personal stuff too, so I'm like, no, I want to see it, and I like what Ryan has been doing because that guy he showed he's not just a Hollywood, movie guy, whatever. He's actually gone out of his way to help tons of people behind the scenes that folks don't even know about. What he did, he bought a soccer team with another actor, and they saved that town. It wasn't about building the team up, because it was like they were like a D-list. They weren't even like in like B company. They were like D-list, and like they're building up this whole thing. But they saved that town. There were so many people that were hurting and in such a bad position. There were kids who were sick and had autism and stuff, and they helped everyone. That's how you could tell someone with heart worked on these kind of projects and stuff. So like that's why
when he was making the first movie, he leaked footage online because it was bad, and he wanted it to get mocked to pressure the studio. And I was like, that shows. I've never seen a lead actor of a movie actually try to sabotage his own movie to make it better before that. Because I don't care about the Deadpool character, but I got interested because of that.
Yep, yeah, because he had it. Yeah, there was a major fight behind the scenes with that actress who played She-Hulk. She was signed. She was supposed to be in the movie, and they did test screenings, and they went no. And he didn't want to do it. It's Marvel was pushing it. Right. Kevin Feige was pushing it, and it doesn't work. It ruins the story, and it's out of character. Like they were supposed to like teach Wolverine and Deadpool a lesson or something. Like her like pointing at them and making fun of them or beating up both of them.
Yeah, no. She's gonna girl boss them.
Yeah, exactly. It's all garbage. So yeah, he made sure that wasn't going to be in the movie. That's why we had an entertaining thing, and I was just surprised the amount of shots that he gave Disney, that they were fine with it, because all that money that was going to be brought in.
I got to take off, guys. You're getting into some good conversation here, but I got to take off. My live stream should be starting right about now. Oh, nice meeting you, Vinny, and nice your book looks amazing.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate it.
I was looking the whole time that you were talking, and I can't find it. But years ago, around 2015, when I quit reading Marvel and DC Comics, I went on to MoveOn.org, and I made a petition to make me the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics. And nice. I got 99 signatures, and then I forgot about it. So I was just trying to see if I could, because the way you were talking about cleaning house, I was like, this would be a good time to bring back that Move On. So if anybody could go to MoveOn.org and find the picture of me hanging out with John Romita Sr.
Oh, that'd be great. The Romitas were awesome. I got my first interview at Marvel because of John Romita Jr. I was lucky enough I got to meet his father as well. Before he passed.
Yeah, I never met Junior, but I met Senior.
Yeah, Senior, Junior, they're good. Junior, I mean, he's a little more of the Hollywood type now, but he's still a good dude. And I preferred Senior, to be honest, like with the art style and everything.
Yeah, me too. I don't think that's mean to say.
No. But I'll tell you one thing though. Like one of my favorite stories was done by John Romita Jr. And it was Colossus versus Juggernaut when they were in street clothes. It was by the bar. He had the black turtleneck, and that was fantastic.
And they ruined the bar.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was one of my favorite books.
Yeah, and Juggernaut didn't realize it, but he saved Juggernaut's life because he was mad because he blocked him from talking to that girl who turned out to be the Black Queen, the new Black Queen that was like a psychic.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Nice.
And she was circling around Juggernaut because she saw how much life force that he possessed, and then Colossus bumps into him. They get to him. So I just love that whole thing. There's a little bar fight. Awesome. Neither one of them realized that.
Yeah. And it was because Wolverine wanted to teach Peter a lesson.
Yep. So he got him drunk and brought him into a bar.
That was great.
Yeah, I agree. Separate the actors from their political views. Great actors need to shut up. Like I said, I don't like actors. And I don't like school teachers.
Yeah, I could do it to a point, but there's certain people I just can't. Like Robert De Niro, I'm done with him. Like, guy's a lunatic, and I know other stories and stuff.
And it makes me mad because there's so many roles that I like. There's so many movies that he was in.
Oh yeah. There's movies. Yeah, I can't ever watch him again because he's in it. The only one I could definitely watch is The Joker. I could watch that again. What happened to me?
Because he got what he deserved. Yeah.
That's right. Lunatics.
Lynn Ratton, put the link in. I'm trying to find it. If anybody could find, because I was just Googling MoveOn.org, and it looks like it's a Democrat fundraiser now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So if anybody could find the MoveOn.org, make me editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, and you'll see a picture of me with no beard. You know, yeah, De Niro is a loon, can't watch his work anymore.
Yep.
Well, these actors. Yeah. See, the problem is, and you see, people are herd animals. You know, we evolved because humans aren't really that strong in the animal kingdom. You know what I mean? I give this intelligence, you know, pack hunting. We're pack animals. So, we form tribes, and then we form these, the other tribe is the other, and it's easy to demonize them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's what actors do. They form their tribe, and, you know, these blue collar guys that do construction, you know, because we can't quote Shakespeare, you know what I mean? But when push comes to shove, who's going to fix your house? Who's going to fix your car?
Yeah, it's the thing too. It's money amplifies the horrific nature of these people. It brings out the worst in them. So if they're a good person, you're going to see it affects them differently. If they're horrible, it's going to make them even more monsters. You know?
I joke around. I say I judge people about how useful you would be in the zombie apocalypse.
Yep.
You know, school teachers, lawyers, Shakespeare scholars, actors. You know, I always say two things. You either got to taste good. I say it more crude. I'm trying to say it nicely, but
I go there sometimes on my stream. Yeah,
like sex will be delicious is the way I put
it. We've gone to places on my stream that's the only time they actually did anything is a Fauci thing. I was kind of exposing that piece of shit, and it was a joke that you know they try to hit my channel for a joke. I'm like, oh, get out of here.
Yeah, I don't know who's more disappointing, what happened to Luke Skywalker or what happened to Mark Hamill.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's.
So Marcus, it's done. MoveOn.org is done.
Oh man,
not my petition anymore.
Yeah, well, you should sign up anyway. Maybe you'll turn the president.
Yeah. Disney, they wouldn't like what I would do. I already have a story to fix all of Marvel. You know.
Yep.
Didn't they come up with a cure for your kind, Wolverine? You got a problem with mutants? No, I meant Canadians. Using your platform for your job to spread your message is irresponsible. No, even using your personal platform when you're public. Start a new petition. There you go. Unless it's a Democratic fundraiser site, I'm not going to have anything to do with it.
If you start a new one, I'm sure you're going to get more signups. I think you'll get more than 100.
Yeah. It was funny, and this was 2015. I didn't have a YouTube channel or anything. Just other people, just like, couldn't do worse. Like the comments were, couldn't do worse than the guy that's running it now. Yeah.
Ain't that the truth? Oh man,
what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh well, I'm babbling, but it's pretty good. You talk for a good 40 minutes. Usually I talk too much, so you're easy to talk.
I hope it ain't step over anyone's toes.
No, not at all. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what I mean. I like people from the tri-state area. You know, I'm good friends with anyone that's like that because it's almost like a different kind of way of life and how you see things and talk more openly about stuff. Because there's so many people that they want to put on the mask and pull the bullshit games. I can't do that. You know,
it's funny when I moved to California and then I moved to New Mexico. I would just walk into a place and be like, "Hey, I'd like you're hired." Like we always hire New Yorkers. Like New Yorkers, they work circles around Californians. And Mexico.
Yeah, I've been there once, and I saw how it was, and it's
California.
Yeah, I went to one of the San Diego Comic Cons, and that was crazy. By the way, I got to get to Michael Bancroft's in 5 minutes. I forgot.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go too. My wife gave me dinner an hour ago, and I'm sitting there drooling, looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
But it was great talking to you. I'm gonna pledge to your stuff. It looks awesome.
Thank you, man.
And,
I appreciate that.
This was a fun talk.
I do. Yeah, anytime. Yeah, hit me up. We're supposed to be scheduled on the 27th, I think, and and then we we message each other again, and you're like, "Oh, you're free on the 21st?" I'm like, "Yeah."
So we have another talk scheduled.
If you want me back, I'll come back on the 27th.
We're scheduled. I'll look. I've been messing up on my map lately because I do nothing but sleep, wake up, wander around the house, go back to sleep. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't have a purpose, men become like blobs. You know, I slept
Yeah.
for 14 hours yesterday. I haven't
Wow.
shaved. I look like a bum. I'm turning into a disgusting human being. I
You gotta heal up, dude.
gotta get a purpose again. Well, I've been writing a lot, so there you go.
Well, that's good then. Yeah. What do you mean?
All right, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have my dinner. You get on Michael Bancroft. Tell Michael Bancroft I said hello.
Yeah, man, we'll do, man. Thank you. Yeah, and thank you everyone in the chat.
Yeah, I love your
anyone
art.
who's backed the book so far. Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Bye bye, everybody.
Later.